Well, Budapest as a city is, I think I've traveled to a lot of countries in Europe, and I've always been wanting to come back to the city because the city is that, it's one, very diverse. You find a lot of expats here, so you don't feel left out. You don't feel foreign to the country because there are a lot of people coming from different parts of the world, very diverse. You get to meet people that way, and Hungarians, to be very honest, they're very friendly and welcoming. The reason mainly was because, one, I wanted to pursue my higher education in a country which is not always explored. And another reason is because Europe is well connected, travel is possible, and being a travel enthusiast, I thought, why not, pursue my higher education and satisfy my travel dreams as well, traveling around Europe. So to be very honest, I have accomplished that. I've completed my master's here. I've been traveled to almost 23, 24 countries. My master's in IBS, so our classes were usually in the evenings. So these professors who were actually teaching us were also professionals working during their day. So they would bring corporate knowledge to us as well. So we would get a picture of how it actually works in the corporate world. They don't really do just textbook, just putting stuff out there from the textbook. They also bring with them the experience they've had working in corporates and dealing with people who would be basically who we would encounter when we join a full-time job later on, or internships. It is a very, very safe continent on the whole. And Budapest, I would stress more on Budapest because I've lived here for a long time, and that was one of my concerns, and also my family's concerns before moving, is the country safe. It is very, very safe. The government as well makes sure that foreigners, for example, are taken care of and they're given all the services they need, and you just don't feel like you are in a foreign land not knowing anything. With the salary Hungarian companies pay you here, it is sufficient to live a very comfortable life. My friends, family studying in the US, the UK, or Australia, for example, and never really heard of someone studying in Hungary. So it was honestly an experience I wanted to do by myself and see how it goes and explore, the country. The course was pretty interesting as well. It was in financial management, so I had a little bit of accounting and finance both. So it was I literally ticked all the boxes I was dreaming of. So if you have the opportunity of moving out of your comfort zone and exploring different opportunities and different experiences that you have at stake, then definitely go get it.
Hello everybody, welcome all of you. My name is Shivaraman, Director of Europe Study Center. As you all know, in our YouTube channel, we have been making a lot of videos and inspiring a lot of young students as well as parents. In the continuation, we are going to interview our student Mariam today, who did her master's in Hungary and currently working in Hungary. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Please, okay. Kindly introduce yourself to our audience.
So hello everyone, my name is Miriam. I am from Bangalore. I did my bachelor's and my entire education until my bachelor's in Bangalore, and then moved to Hungary. I did a bachelor's in commerce with finance and accounting, and hence pursued a master's in financial management at IBS Hungary. I'm currently working at Morgan Stanley. I've been living in Budapest for 7 years now. So yeah, that's something about me.
Wow, 7 years is like a lot of time. So let's start. So which year did you complete your bachelor's?
I completed my bachelor's in 2017.
Okay. So when did you start your master's? It was immediate, or you took some break, or you were working?
No, I did have a break of a year, and I started it in September 2018. Yeah.
Okay. Not much gap, just 1 year.
No. Yeah, exactly. I was doing my CPA course during the short break I took for myself between bachelor's and master's. So I did my certification and that. And I started master's in 2018.
Super. So you would have went through a lot of options, right? Before choosing Europe. Any specific reason to choose Europe? I know it was a long way ahead, long back, but still, if you could recollect.
Yeah. So like I was saying, it's a good question to start off with because all the thinking happened, and that's how I'm here in Hungary. Well, the reason mainly was because, one, I wanted to pursue my higher education in a country which is not always explored. And another reason is because Europe is well connected, travel is possible. And being a travel enthusiast, I thought, why not, pursue my higher education and satisfy my travel dreams as well, traveling around Europe. So, to be very honest, I have accomplished that. I've completed my master's here. I've been traveling, traveled to almost 23, 24 countries. So, yeah, I think that was a good decision, and I definitely would not regret choosing Hungary as an option.
Super. So how did you find Europe Study Center?
To be very honest, Google helped me. I was just looking for consultancies supporting European education, and this was one of the options. So it was just a hit off for me. Yeah, just hit it off.
Excellent. Then comes to the next point. How did you finalize IBS and Hungary?
I think ESE did that for me because there was a lot of options. I did give them the studies I wanted to pursue, the subjects I wanted to delve deeper into. And there was a list of many universities from Germany, from France, Italy, Hungary, which did specialize in finance. But the course I liked was more in IBS because one is accredited to the University of Buckingham. So I received a UK degree and I was going to do it in a country which not a lot of students explored. So it was a very fresh experience for me because I've heard of my friends, family studying in the US or the UK or Australia, for example. And never really heard of someone studying in Hungary. So it was honestly an experience I wanted to do by myself and see how it goes and explore, the country. The course was pretty interesting as well. It was in financial management, so I had a little bit of accounting and finance both. So it was a tick. I mean, I literally ticked all the boxes I was dreaming of.
Excellent. Plus, when you get a Schengen visa, because when you go to Hungary,
Yeah,
you don't get a Hungarian visa. You get a Schengen
right,
visa, which also solves your, one of the objective to travel. You can travel to all
right,
27 countries now.
correct. Yes, that's
Wonderful.
right.
Wonderful. And even today, Hungary is still not a famous destination among people. You know the reason why?
I think, I mean, I would assume one is because people have that perception that the degree you receive here is not as known as the degrees you would receive, for example, in the UK or the US. And for example, and also language barriers might be a problem. And students, I don't think they're as aware of what the country is. You might have just seen it in a few movies or something, but there is no fresh or experiences shared by students studying in Hungary for others to be aware of. So I think that's just an awareness problem there.
Yes. On top of it, a single student, for example, a single university in UK will recruit thousands of students from India, single university. Whereas the entire Hungary hardly allows only few hundreds from India. That is the
Right,
difference. These countries
right.
are always under the radar because they don't focus on quantity, they focus on quality. Yes.
That's right. Yeah,
So,
that's right.
yeah. So then you started your studies. So how was the, your studies at IBS Hungary?
Well, it was very different for me from the education I received back in India because the way of the curriculum itself was very practically oriented. It was not too much of theory. So you were given, like students were given the opportunity to explore their researching skills. They were given opportunities to read from journals. It was not just a class experience, but you were given opportunities to explore your subject and delve deeper into the subject by yourself. Basically, you were not really spoon fed like how we would do it in India. Like you just learn from the textbook and then you give your exams. It was not like that. So I was able to get a different aspect or different perspective of how education can be. And we also learned different styles of, for example, reading journals was not something I did back in India. But here, to complete my assignments, I had to read a lot. So that helped me build my skills in reading, in researching, in putting down a thesis, for example, which was the ultimatum to get a degree here in IBS. So it was a very different experience for me. And I think that this has helped me grow in my career as well, because I got a lot of knowledge from reading and knowing my subject even more. So it was a very practically oriented course. I mean, finance, people would wonder how practicality would work, but it does work because it helps a lot in knowing the subject and keeping yourself up to date, for example, in your field.
Super.
Yeah.
Did it make you think why I did not come to Hungary for my bachelor's?
Well, I think I was a very I would say an introverted person before coming to Hungary. So I always wanted to be with family, and my goal was always to move out of home after my bachelor's once I've spent enough time with my family and friends back in India. So I never really regretted not coming earlier, but
Okay.
made use of how I started off. Yeah.
Wonderful. Because nowadays, especially from the place where you come from, Bangalore, I send a lot of students at the UG level itself
Right.
to
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
to European countries. So then, tell us about the city Budapest. It's one of the top three, cities in Europe. So talk us
Right.
about Budapest.
Well, Budapest as a city is, I think I've traveled to a lot of countries in Europe, and I've always been wanting to come back to the city because the city is that, it's one very diverse. You find a lot of expats here, so you don't feel left out. You don't feel foreign to the country because there are a lot of people coming from different parts of the world, very diverse. You get to meet people that way. And Hungarians, to be very honest, they're very friendly and welcoming. They love to teach you their culture. They love to welcome you into their community, for example, or for example, even teach you their language. They're very keen on that. So Budapest, I mean, it is a tourist spot now. From the time I came in 2018, when I compared back then and to now, I've been seeing tourists increasing every passing summer. So I think people are getting more aware of this beautiful city. You have a lot of things to do. If you're a very social person, for example, there are a lot of clubs where you can join these networking sessions. Just explore your talents there. For example, you have clubs for sports, for music, for any kind of hiking, adventurous treks. So there's something for everyone here. You would never feel left out, or you would never feel homesick, for example. Of course, you would miss your home country and your family, but you get another chance to explore the things you would not have done back home.
From the option of choosing Hungary as an exploring option, I think you landed on an ideal location.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was a good start for me. I would never travel to Europe before moving here. So it was a very ideal destination for me to land into, a very small city, very new people to know. I mean, of course, I didn't know anybody here. So it was an ideal start for me, and I think I hit it off from there.
Wonderful, wonderful. Happy, happy. Because we kind of verify at least the fundamentals, how good the university is, the surrounding, then only we start
Right,
sending students there. So
right,
happy,
yeah.
happy to know this from you. And then how, these professors, how helpful they were in your studies.
Well, so like I said, I was doing my master's in IBS, so our classes were usually in the evenings. So these professors who were actually teaching us were also professionals working during their day. So they would bring corporate knowledge to us as well. So would get a picture of how it actually works in the corporate world. They don't really do just textbook, just putting stuff out there from the textbook. They also bring with them the experience they've had working in corporates and dealing with people who would like basically who we would encounter when we join a full-time job later on, or internships. So the professors really gave us the outlook we were looking for after we graduate, for example. They helped us delve deeper on the subjects. They were very acknowledgeable of where we come from, because of course, when we come from India, we're not aware of how the system works here. So they've made us feel very comfortable that way. And whenever we were confused about a few things, because for example, we had something called as a Harvard style referencing. So when you do your assignments or your thesis, you need to basically reference the stuff where you actually take things. You can't just, take it from Google or Wikipedia and then copy it down. You can't do that here. That's called as plagiarism. I think people
Yeah.
would be aware of. So I was not aware of Harvard style referencing. So they're very approachable people, and if you had any questions, they would help you. If you wanted any kind of books to learn about the subject, they will help you. So they have, I think, been an integral part of my start in the country, and with the field of finance as well. Very approachable. And even when you were doing your thesis, we had like a huge list of supervisors who we could reach out to have meetings on a one-to-one basis. So very approachable professors at IBS. And to be honest, at Hungarian universities as well, I've heard that professors are very professional, very practically oriented, and very approachable. So that's what I've heard from friends as well studying in Hungarian universities.
Yes, they have amazing universities, but when it comes to the business school, I work only with IBS.
Right. Okay.
They are the best by far for my,
Right.
my knowledge or my understanding. And we
Right.
have an excellent business school. I don't want to look beyond. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yes. And then what sort of examinations they would usually used to have at IBS?
So my course was we had less exams and more assignments. So we would be given like topics to work on based on the subject, of course, and we were supposed to read, gather information through our research using Google Scholar or any kind of academic sources. We were not allowed to use Google because that was not you know that was considered plagiarism if we take stuff from Google or Wikipedia. So I was given that opportunity to explore the academic sources. We had journals which IBS gave a list of journals which we could refer to, and they also had internal journals provided by the school. So that was another option, and I think it was just a good way of exploring the academic sources that we already have, and basically do assignments based on that. And we did have exams. I wouldn't say that it was completely not there. We did have a few exams. So it's just like how we would have exams in school, like, you write down stuff on a piece of paper. We did have few of the exams. So it was a mix of, I would say 70% practicals and like 30% exams. So if I can put it that way, that's the clarification. Yeah.
Okay. How long is the duration of your course?
So my course was for a year, but I wouldn't say we had classes for 1 year. It was split into 3 semesters. So the first
Okay.
2 semesters, we had it. It was like a teaching semester. That's what they call it here. And the last semester was for our thesis. So the year was split into 3 months. Basically, we had semester breaks and stuff like that. So the first 6 months was class to class. You go to class, you have your classes, you have assignments, you have a few exams, and that was it. And then the third semester, you don't really have regular classes. You just have to schedule meetings with your supervisor based on the thesis you've selected. You have different supervisors who can help you out, and you can just schedule according to your availability and your supervisor's availability, and have your meetings. So it was 3 semesters, 2 semesters where you go to class, and 1 semester you just work on your thesis.
Okay, so 1 year program.
Yeah, that's right, 1 year program.
And medium of instruction is only in English, right? For you?
Yeah, medium of instruction is English. That's right. Yes.
Okay, super. Now let's talk about your professional life. So when did you start applying for your jobs?
Well, to be very honest, I started applying right when I landed because IBS had a master's degree, and as I mentioned, their classes was like always post 5 p.m. So the morning, the afternoon was like pretty much free, and I just don't want to do nothing and just sit there and wait for class. So we were allowed to work full time if the company recruiting us is willing to give us a work permit, because with a student permit in Hungary, you can only work part time or do an internship for 20 hours a week. But I thought if I have an opportunity to work full time, and if I get a job, then why not? Because you have your earnings now, you don't depend on your family for that, and you become more independent. So that was my lookout. So IBS has different kind of clubs. They have a finance club, they have sports club, and I bumped into someone, a junior, who told me that there was this job fair happening the very next month after I landed. So I landed in September, and in October there was this job fair. It's actually one of the biggest job fairs in Budapest, not organized by IBS, but by the country itself. So I learned about that, and I'm like, okay, let's go and explore the opportunities out there. So that's when I went there in October, and I applied to several companies. And I think after a couple of weeks, I got a call from my first company, which is ExxonMobil. That was the first company I worked in Hungary. And I think the interviews went pretty well. I landed in a job, and I think 6 months down the lane, I just joined Exxon as a financial accounting analyst. So I think it was a matter of a few months, and then I was already working full time.
Okay, before you completed your studies, you started working. Amazing.
Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right.
Excellent. So then, after your graduation, you change your jobs, or like what is the current job that you're doing right now?
So I did not change after my graduation. I worked at Exxon for close to 4 years. I was in the company for 4 years.
Super.
That's right. And in 2022 is when I moved to Morgan Stanley, and this is my third year at Morgan Stanley. So I've been in 2 companies in a span of 7 years. I've worked in financial accounting at Exxon, and now I'm in risk management, which was one of my specializations during my master's degree. So I've just been getting the best of both worlds, if I can put it that way.
I was about to say that because it was so ideal, you started working in a top company during your studies, and right after your
Right.
studies, you continued to work there, and then moved
Right.
to a even super firm, and
Right.
to work in a domain which you studied, and to put it into practice in the real world, aspects.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Wonderful. So, what sort of, to be more precise, or to be in a detailed way, what sort of roles and responsibilities that you play in your current job?
So actually, I'm in credit risk management, and it is an associate position because I previously worked for 4 years. So it's an associate position, and it's more inclined to credit risk. Of course, I cannot give more details about it because of confidentiality, because we work in an investment bank and there
Of
is a lot
course.
of confidentiality. So I would just say it's more focused into credit risk, and I work in the funds sector, so of credit risk. So it is something I've always wanted to work in after pursuing my master's degree and getting an exposure into risk management. It was something I always wanted to, and hence I moved from Exxon to an investment bank because I mean, as a finance graduate, working in an investment bank, I think was my aim in my career growth, and I finally achieved that. So yeah, it's been going pretty good so far.
Fantastic, fantastic. So the shift between from student visa to work visa and all those visas were like very smooth for you?
Yes, it was pretty smooth because the company sponsored me. Of course, student visa was done by ESC, and then as soon as I got the offer letter in November 2018 from Exxon, they started the conversion into my work permit, and they literally did everything. So I just had to give them my rental contract and the other documentations required, and they took care of everything. So if the company is sponsoring you, I think you're kind of sorted. You don't have anything to do other than just preparing your documents and submitting it. And fortunately, both the companies I worked in did that for me. So that was very convenient as well as a foreigner.
Exactly. This is the speciality of Europe, because you don't have to go through the lottery system or the other governmental issues, nothing. All that the kids needs to do once they go for a bachelor's or master's, sit and study, develop your skills, get a job, rest is all taken care. That is what
Right.
you need
Agree.
to do.
Yeah.
Because
Agreed.
European countries always look for young and fresh talent to steer the economy, forward.
Yeah,
So now,
that's true.
how happy your parents are looking at all your achievements, and it's almost 7 years, right, in Hungary right now for you.
Yes, it is. It is. This is my seventh year, so it's going pretty good so far, I would say. I think they have been they have been my support system. I think without my family back home, it would not have been easy to survive 7 years. So I think they are proud of me, to be honest, how
Yes.
far I've come and whatever I've achieved along the way. And I think initially, like every Indian parent, they were a bit hesitant to send me alone to a new country, but they trusted me, and I think I had to live up to their trust. And here I am, 7 years down the lane, achieving everything.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Yeah. With the 30 minutes, whatever I've learned about your successful life, I feel the important factor was you were always in the mindset to explore, explore, explore. Am I right or wrong?
yeah, that's right. I think that's very, very true, because if not for that mindset and attitude, I think I would have just been in a very small cocoon, surviving and just living there, but not exploring the opportunities I had at stake. Yeah.
Exactly, Mariam. Whenever I go to this colleges or schools or make
Yeah.
presentation, all that I tell kids is pack your bags. Boy or a girl, for me, it's just the same. Okay.
Of course,
Pack your
agreed.
bags, travel the world and explore. And
Right.
for the sake of abroad education, don't sell your ancestral properties and go abroad. No use.
Correct.
Be
Yeah.
smart, kind of spend less and learn more. When it comes to the costing, many parents would, get angry on me if I don't ask this question. When you were a
Right.
student, what was your living expenses and the tuition fees that you paid to IBS, if you could remember? I know it's long back, but still, if you could remember.
Right. So I would say that initially when I came in 2018, we did not have inflation. Inflation didn't hit us back then, so pretty much things were very it was very economical. I would say even now it is, but it is a bit more than what it was during my initial days here. But I think with the salary Hungarian companies pay you here, it is sufficient to live a very comfortable life. And as a student, I would say like if you have close to 1,000 euros, you would like for your rent, for your food, and any kind of extracurriculars what you want to do or social life. I think it would be really sufficient. And
Okay.
like I think if I remember well, it was around 7,000 to 8,000 euros, which we paid
Yes.
at IBS. Yeah, to be honest, that was my dad who did that mainly. But if I remember, that was, yeah, it was close to around 7,000 to 8,000 euros for a year.
Wonderful, wonderful, excellent. So, you said in the beginning of the interview you love traveling to a lot of countries. So,
That's
if at
right.
all you could pull some of your, I know that you would have visited a lot of countries. So, if you could say the
Yeah.
top 5 countries excluding Hungary, which one would you say?
Yeah, so I would say one was Prague. That was the first country I traveled out of Hungary. One was Prague. I also liked Montenegro. It was a very beautiful country.
Okay,
I traveled to Malta as well. Malta is
okay.
also a very tropical country. So, you have your
Mhm.
beaches, your islands, and everything.
Yes, so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I liked Vienna as well. It's very close to Hungary. It's just like 2 hours and you're there. Very beautiful city. It's more modernized. It has a lot of things, yeah, like monuments and museums and stuff. If you're more into history, that was one of it. I've been to Berlin, of course, one of the beautiful cities in Germany. It's a very modern city, unlike the whole small countrysides of Germany. This was one of the very city kind of place where I liked it as well. And another city would be, for example, there was Poland. I went to this Alp region in Poland.
Okay.
It's called Zakopane. It was on the mountains, so it was very nice exploring the countryside of Poland. So yeah, it was. I think these were the five top five countries I've had really good experiences with the locals, the food over there, and also the beautiful stuff we've seen there. So Europe has a lot to offer. And from cities, for example, in the top five I mentioned, we see in the Alps, we see in like cities, we see in tropical countries. I would also like to add Greece because it's also a beautiful country to visit. We went island hopping, and we were like, I think when you have a good full-time job here, it's very convenient to travel because once you land in Europe, one of the cities, and you want to travel, it's more convenient that coming for a long 16-day vacation from India. So it's very convenient. So you can just pick a country and go to easily. So the transportation to that is also very convenient.
Yes. One more question all my parents wish to for you to answer is
Yeah,
talk about
yeah,
the safety aspect in Europe. How safe it is.
yeah. So to be honest, it is a very, very safe continent on the whole. And Budapest, I would stress more on Budapest because I've lived here for a long time, and that was one of my concerns, and also my family's concerns before moving. Is the country safe? It is very, very safe. You would not feel any kind of fear while walking alone, for example, even at 2 a.m. in the morning. So it is a very safe country. People are very helpful if you're, stuck or you need some kind of help anywhere. You just approach and they're there. Of course, you need to be very vigilant as well. It depends on you as well. You can't just, be like, okay, it's a safe country. I can do whatever I want. You have to be vigilant. You have to be attentive to your surroundings, take your precautions, and you need to know who you are, networking with or mingling with, or which kind of circle you are in. So you also have to be mindful. You also have your responsibility. But the country on the whole is very safe for a boy or a girl, anyone. And their transportation is amazing. Budapest really has a very good transportation service. It's very convenient even in the night. They have night buses going to, so it is a 24-hour system where you would not feel like you need to get a taxi. Yeah, so it is very safe. And I think even other European countries which I've traveled to, it's been very safe because we've always gone like to new countries and never felt like, okay, this we should not go there, or we don't know where we are. It's very safe continent on the whole. And I think the government as well makes sure that foreigners, for example, are taken care of and they're given all the services they need. And you just don't feel like you are in a foreign land not knowing anything.
Mariam, if a student is coming to Europe, what sort of mindset they should have before reaching Europe?
Yeah, so when you decide to move to a foreign country, I would say you should be capable and you should be prepared to, get out of your comfort zone. Because if you are in your comfort zone, you're not in your home country, you have no family support, you don't know anyone at first. So you need to come with the intention of moving out of your comfort zone, of being ready to explore the opportunities, because the opportunities will be before you, but you should be ready to take it, and you should be able to network. There are a lot of networking opportunities in Europe, for example, even in Budapest. Like I have gone to a lot of seminars, a lot of conferences. You sign up, you stay socially active that way, and only then you would, get to know people, and through those people, you would land into really good opportunities. And I think you should also be prepared to, for example, stay independent, because you're cooking, you're grocery shopping, you're cleaning, you're, washing your dishes and everything. You're supposed to do it. So you should be prepared to be very independent here. You have no family support, nothing. So it definitely helps you as a person to grow and become more independent and self-aware of yourself. And at the same time, you are also, ticking off those boxes which you thought you might not be good at. For example, I was a very introverted person, but when I moved here, I knew if I stay that way, I would just be in my cocoon and I would just keep feeling homesick and, just not living the dream I always had to do. So I went out there and explored, grabbed the opportunities I could, and I met a lot of good people. I think those people, those friends who I met, really helped me grow as a person as well and stay away from home for all these 7 years. So it's up to you to make those community of friends, and just explore yourself, and be more independent. And I think we feel that we can't do something until we do it, and then we realize, oh, we can do it. So you should just be a bit more confident. Yeah.
And whatever you told right now, I think, life is once. We should go through all these experiences at least once in lifetime, right? Don't you think so?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. This is one life. You get to do what you want to, or you just get to just sit at home and not do anything. So if you have the opportunity of moving out of your comfort zone and exploring different opportunities and different experiences that you have at stake, then definitely go get it. And even if you don't succeed, at least you know that you tried. That's something I've always been living with. But even if you don't succeed, it's okay to fail, and it's okay to not, move forward in the same paths. You can choose a different path, but at least you know that you tried. Because without trying, you never really know how successful you can be at whatever you have in front of you.
Super, super amazing. I will use these sentences as a template to tell the students, because you being a successful person, when you come up and do these sort of interviews, it's going to inspire a lot of people. Okay, thank you so much. And any last few words that you wish to say before we sum up this beautiful interview?
I mean, I would just like to thank ESC and your entire team, because they have been shaping so many lives, so many students' futures. You guys have been advising us in various aspects of life, not just, giving us the application and telling us, okay, this is the university. You helped us, with the visa process, with guiding us, with having those sessions on what to bring to Europe. For example, I remember receiving this whole list of clothes or medicines or whatever I should take as a new student. So that was very helpful for me. And also I would especially like to mention Sujita ma'am and Chaitali ma'am. These two people from ESE Bangalore have helped me a lot, and I still am very grateful to them. Of course, the other people in Bangalore as well, but these two people really helped me choose the course, helped me in the application process. And Sujita ma'am, she's been in contact with me even till now, like checking up on me. And, every time I post any kind of achievement, she's always there to cheer me on. So ESC is definitely doing a great job. And I wish you guys all the best in shaping more lives and more futures of students.
So much, and thanks for your time, to come forward to do this interview. And I'm sure this video is going to be a template, for many students to plan and under the concept of exploring and also succeeding in exploring. That is most important. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much, and wish you all the very best, and take care. Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye bye.